Well, my name is Alex Harris. I've been a website designer focused on improving conversion rates and maximizing your return on investment from your marketing campaigns. I've been doing this now for about 13 to 14 years. I originally worked at a .com for 11 of those years, and now I work at home as a freelance web designer. We run a small team helping people create their WordPress sites, their e-commerce sites, and landing pages. So during the time at the .com, I was actually building my side business. I quickly realized in 2001, 2002 that not many people were doing conversion rate optimization in landing pages. For about 7 or 8 years, I was ranked as number 1 and number 2 for landing page design. After I was let go finally from that job, I had the opportunity to marry my beautiful wife. And in 2013, I created my podcast, Marketing Optimization. More than likely, this is one of the places that you have found me from, and I highly recommend you subscribe to my show, and you can learn more about that at marketingoptimization.tv. Now, in 2014, this year, I've really focused on not only providing services and building websites and creating creative, but I also help people improve their conversions and teach them how they can do it on their own sites and their e-commerce sites as well. So about me, I've done over hundreds of different e-commerce sites, WordPress sites, and landing pages. And it really doesn't matter what platform that you're working on, I've probably used that software. Shopify, BigCommerce, NetSuite, Volusion, PayPal, lead generation companies, MailChimp, Aweber, Unbounce, Lead Pages. And through this whole process of me doing a lot of A/B testing, I've done over 5,000 different A/B tests. Here's just some of the examples of what you see on the website today. Jared, you're funny. So here's a couple testimonials that I've received. I'm very proud of these because I've spent a lot of time really figuring out the right relationships to create. So one of my mentors, Brian Eisenberg, who I've been working with, I had the pleasure of him saying that I've been one of his secret weapons for years. And he's really one of the godfathers in the industry. He's become a keynote speaker and specifically talks about marketing optimization and conversion. I also do a lot of e-commerce related sites, and this particular site mentioned that I increased their conversion by 5 times. Another landing page and lead generation focused site said after 3 months of performing conversion optimization on their landing pages, I helped them increase their conversions by 5 times as well. So here's a little document that I actually received today. Actually, I received it in spam, but it was actually a little bit of worthwhile information. Is that overall e-commerce sites, it's overall a lot harder to really sell on the web in general. While conversion rates are, have stayed about, between 1, 2, and 3%, our cart abandonment rates have really gone up a lot. And also, the checkout processes have almost become more complex. There's more opportunity to buy different ways. So these are some great stats to really show you what's going on in the e-commerce space as well. So is your e-commerce site ready for the holidays? The year is halfway over, and within 90 days, the holiday season will be here. The holiday season really starts during Halloween, and even if you're preparing your site for Christmas or New Year's, you need to start working on your e-commerce site today to really maximize your return on investment as much as possible. So I'm going to be taking you through the top 5 tips for you to improve the conversions from your e-commerce site. So number 1, quick wins. It's all about trying to find out where you're getting your traffic already and then figuring out where the most opportunity is to get the most profit. To do that, you really want to figure out what your 80-20 is. The majority of e-commerce sites and really lead generation or content marketing sites in general make 80% of their conversions or 80% of their leads off of 20% of their traffic. So what you want to do is go ahead and define what your top traffic pages are, and then figure out from those top traffic pages how much revenue each one of those pages is creating, and then reorganize them by the highest bounce rate pages. You can also do this by looking in your AdWords or pay-per-click accounts to figure out which queries are actually driving the best conversion rates. Also, I highly recommend that you just do not jump into a redesign. Unless you're completely changing platforms or starting from scratch, you want to iterate and test your way into figuring out the right way to actually redesign your site. Many people just jump right into a redesign to change their site, and more than likely their conversion rates are actually going to go down. So to do this, you can look in basic Google Analytics and just organize your site by the top traffic landing pages or to the top unique visitors, and then reorganize them by bounce rate. That way you can figure out exactly where the right opportunities are for you to start optimizing. Here's an example of how we optimize a quick win test within just 2 or 3 weeks, and we increased the total revenue per visitor by $4. This averaged out to about a percentage increase about 65.95%. Not bad for a quick win test, and anybody really can do this once you understand the right process. So number 2, create a unique value proposition. You don't want to go out and just necessarily copy your competition. You want to see what everyone else is out there doing, but you want to really define your website in a unique way to not make people think. So how do you do that? On your homepage, you should have a clear headline. Within 1 to 2 seconds, you should know exactly what the company has to offer. Also have a clear tagline. A lot of companies miss out by having a unique value proposition on every single page on your website. Having that clear tagline or the value proposition lets people know what you are offering directly, regardless of what page they arrive through natural search or lower in your funnel process. The thing is really just to not make people think. As soon as they arrive, they should clearly understand your unique value proposition. That way there's less friction. The less friction that you have, the more your bounce rates are going to continue to stay stable, and you'll actually increase your conversions that way as well. So some quick examples. Trunk Club does a great job of this. Not a traditional e-commerce company, but they are a personalized e-commerce company. Hand-selected clothing for men. Pretty much do not need to think about what they have to offer. They're specifically targeting their target audience. They know what products they want to sell to them, and then provide benefits on how and clear direction on how their call to action is to get started. Another competitor of theirs is Suitly, custom-tailored suits and shirts for men. You really do not have to think about what they have to offer, and then they have a secondary call to action. How does it work? If you're not ready to shop, more than likely you want to find out more about the particular company, and this is a great example. The third tip is to create landing pages. Too many times e-commerce sites leave too much money on the table because they're not capitalizing on their marketing campaigns as much. There's one thing that happens with every single website out there. Somebody is going to leave. You're not going to have 100% of your people convert. So you want to ensure that you find ways to capitalize on the marketing efforts that you're doing. Some examples of landing pages would be to create a lead generation type of website or microsites that's specifically about soft selling the company, or having long landing pages where you clearly explain a little bit more detail about how the product is beneficial to their lives. Also, you want to test category versus product detail pages. A lot of people just assume that people want to, arrive deep into product category pages, but it may be that they actually want to get to the product right away and convert as soon as possible. Also, I highly recommend that you test video on product-specific landing pages. Video has become super important, and people want to know exactly what the product has to offer. So here's some quick examples of those landing pages. On the one on the left is a product-specific landing page. You can see it's unique as a landing page because it still has the navigation. So if someone happens to not be interested in whey protein powder, they have the opportunity to click on the navigation. Now, we've tested this in different ways with this particular client, and it turns out that having the navigation in their composition actually helps. It increases the clicks and gets more people to buy. Because you guys know, as you are going through your e-commerce experience, let's say you're buying something on a site and you arrive there and it's not necessarily the item that you were looking for, if there's no opportunity to dig through other products that may be right for you, you're going to back out, and that's what increases the bounce rates. On the right, from Superior Lighting, this is an example of how they're using faceted search on their product categories. People obviously have different problems. So if someone's searching for a particular type of light bulb, they may be looking for clear or white or plastic versus a different material. So you want to ensure you have some type of ways for them to filter down to the exact type of product that they're looking for. Number 4, improve your checkout. Pretty self-explanatory stuff, but not many people focus on their checkout. There's one thing that every e-commerce site has in common, is that you have to go through a checkout process. You have your shopping cart page, and then your checkout process, and then eventually your thank you page. So here's some tips to improve your checkout process. Number 1, every person is looking for a way to check out quickly. Creating guest checkout is a great way to skip a lot of the registration or particular processes, and that's one of the main things that a lot of e-commerce softwares don't offer these days. So I highly recommend offering some type of checkout, a guest checkout. Also, website security. People take this for granted. Just because you buy an SSL certificate doesn't mean your site's set up for security properly. You want to test your e-commerce site in old browsers to ensure that you're not serving non-secure images. Maybe back in the day you went through a particular site and all of a sudden you get this pop-up that says, this website seems a little bit unsecure. That makes people think about, why, I'm supposed to be secure, but is it not secure? So you want to ensure that all your images, you use relative paths, and that your security is really set up properly. Number 3, checkout abandonment. There's a lot of great ways to figure out where people are dropping off and then how to increase that checkout abandonment. You want to track your funnel and where the drop-off is, and then start to do tests and iterate to figure out how to improve that abandonment. Also, test removing the navigation. Once someone is in the checkout process, that is their main goal, to check out. So having less links will avoid more leakage in your funnel. Also, add a progress bar. People want to know what's next. So having a 1, 2, 3 step progress bar, or better yet, if your e-commerce software offers it, apply a one-page checkout. That way you don't have to go through multiple pages to accomplish that one simple goal. Lastly, offer multiple forms of payment. E-commerce, it's a global process, and more than likely if someone's buying in a different country, they're not using the exact same currency that you have offered in your payment process. So you want to offer multiple forms of payment, especially PayPal, Bill Me Later, or obviously credit cards. But having multiple forms of payment will definitely increase your conversions as well. Here's an example of some of the things that we apply to all of our checkout processes. We want to test different security symbols like GeoTrust, Better Business Bureau, and McAfee. Just because I put them up there doesn't mean they're necessarily right for you. So you can test a lot of these different things because some of the security symbols can be expensive. So you want to ensure that these are worth it for you to invest in. If you don't want to invest in one of those, you can easily just make a generic security symbol. Having that lock symbol right there will reinforce that it's a secure process and people's credit cards aren't going to be stolen. Also create a shop with confidence box. This is something that we've implemented from day one in all of our e-commerce sites, but right there on the sidebar, have a shop with confidence box. Tell people how fast it's going to be shipped, is there a money back guarantee, What's the deal with the returns? Is it made in the USA or the country that you live in? And maybe, the ingredients. People are unsure of what claims you have to offer, so the more stuff that you can answer before they have questions, these are the things that you want to include in your Shop with Confidence box. Number 5, mobile and tablet is essential these days. In e-commerce, it's a little bit strange because more than likely people are researching products in their mobile phone before they buy, but doesn't mean they're necessarily about to buy in the mobile experience. But that's completely different in the tablet and iPad world. People come home from work, they probably sit on their couch, and they're browsing through their iPads in order to figure out what to purchase. So having a great e-commerce experience for your web store, in a mobile experience, and your tablet is essential to maximizing your return on investment in the e-commerce space during the holiday season. Bonus. The number one way to generate revenue for your e-commerce site is to send promotional emails, especially during the holiday season. As you anticipate the upcoming holiday season, you can have different promotions based on scarcity. Maybe pre-holiday sales, post-holiday sales, last-minute sales. This is a great way to get people to understand that you're trying to make them save money before the holiday rush is here. So an example of we sent a lot of email. This is some of my email that we sent for clients, showing a variety of products that people have to offer, but then having some type of incentives. In this case, in the customer her example, is that we're adding a little bit of scarcity. Having free shipping is the #1 promotion through all e-commerce sites, making specific to Halloween, and then the offer is expiring in this date. That way it creates demand, and the more demand creates urgency. Also, having a great composition using a mix of HTML and images with clear call to actions in your email. So is your e-commerce site ready for the holidays? If you do have any questions or you want to reach out to me, I do help a lot of companies with this. We go through web analytics and user experience to really figure out where those pain points are, where people drop off, what people are clicking on, and then we find those quick wins. Where are you making 80% of your revenue off of 20% of your products? And if you want to learn more, you can visit me at alexdesigns.com. Thank you for your time today.